Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Bible in a Year. My name is Natalie, and we're going to start reading the Bible cover to cover beginning January 1st, 2023, and read all the way through until December 31st, 2023. I am starting the channel early so that people have a chance to find us. If you have found us and like the channel, remember to subscribe, like, and share. So today's little piece of scripture is going to be out of Psalms, but I thought I need to give you kind of a background to why I chose it. I felt it necessary at this point in time, before we really get into reading the Bible in a year, to let you know who I am, besides just my name, of course. So, the title of this is my testimony. And a lot of times when people give their testimony, it's from, when they were born and then their teenage years and growing up and then where they are right now. I am limited in that arena. So in 2015, I suffered a head injury at work, and it has basically just about erased my memory from childhood, and has pretty much erased everything from 2015. For example, I know that I was married, but I don't remember being married for 16 plus years. Another example is I know that I had horses, but I don't remember riding them. I don't remember. I think that one memory I do have is my hand being under the horse's mane. So I'm like on the ground, or I'm standing on the ground, and I'm just running my hand under the horse's mane on their neck. That I remember. Yeah, there's decades that have just been wiped out. So what I have right now is, on a really good day, it's about a 6-hour memory retention. Right now it's after 12, and I honestly couldn't tell you what I did this morning or what I had for breakfast. That's already gone. To even post these YouTube videos, I actually have to put it on the calendar every morning so that I don't forget. It's a ridiculous life. But the testimony that I feel is important and that I can remember is the 4 hours before my injury. So I was getting ready for work. I had to leave at 7:30 in the morning to arrive by 8 in the morning. And so at 7, I was finishing up my coffee and just having some real quiet time. The job I had at the time was incredibly stressful and very noisy, and not a lot of time to, have thoughts. So at 7 in the morning, I was just sipping my coffee and praying. And I remember praying over the children I was going to work with. And I remember praying for a friend of mine that just received an incredibly harsh diagnosis. And I remember thanking God so much for his protection over me and my family, and being so grateful that I was not placed in a situation as my friend with such a serious diagnosis, or not being placed in a situation to parent a child with such debilitating circumstances. I was overwhelmed with gratitude and love for God. And I finished up my coffee and I drove on to work. And 4 hours later, I received my head injury, and it was a head injury serious enough to have an ambulance come and take me to the emergency room. And then I was out of my mind, and so I left the emergency room and thought I could walk back to work, and I got lost in a city that I had lived in for like 20 years. It was, oh, so embarrassing. So embarrassing. So, anyways, it probably took a couple months for me to get my bearings, to really understand, okay, this is a serious concussion because I don't remember things. I'm not understanding language. I remember a doctor talking to me, and what I heard sounded like a foreign language. I was not understanding one word she was saying. It took me a couple months to realize, oh, this is weird. This is okay. We've got to fix this. And then I would say that third month is when I remembered my prayer. And I remembered that morning. And I got so angry. I've probably only been that angry, maybe I can probably count on one hand how many times I've been that angry. But this is the first time I had ever been that really angry with the Lord. I could not figure out how, in my prayer of love and worship and gratitude, why would He take away my mind and leave me without thoughts, and at that moment a limited vocabulary and pain. Oof, lots of pain. I mean, in my head at the time I could imagine, all right, if I hadn't been in prayer life, if I hadn't been in relationship with the Lord, okay, maybe that was a way for Him to get my attention. There's all sorts of ways to think about that. But in my head, to have such this great relationship with God, I was livid. And then I started thinking, well, what is it, Lord? Did I get too close to you? Was it, no one's allowed to see your face? Was I getting too close to your face? I mean, these are the prayers I was having. And being that this is my testimony, I think it is fair to express my prayers at that time. So that took me probably a few months to simmer down. I had lost all of my friends. I had lost my job. I had lost my savings. I had lost everything. And the only thing that was still there was the Lord. Literally, the only thing from my old life that was still there was the Lord. So, got to reading. I simmered down and I got to reading, and I was in Psalms, and I came upon Psalm 112. And I've mentioned in a previous post how sometimes I change the words, and I did actually change the words in all of Psalm 112. And I read this prayer, well, I used it as a prayer, several times a day, mainly because I had no memory of reading it the few times before. This is I'm feeling very vulnerable right now, folks. So I'm going to read Psalm 112, and I'm going to read it how I read it. And so if you're going through something that has rocked your world, we all have a choice. We have a choice to hold our fist up and yell at the Lord. Or we can open our hand and receive Him for the circumstance that we now find ourselves. So this is it. This is what carried me through. This is Psalm 112, the way I read it. Praise Yah. Blessed is the woman who fears Yahweh, who delights greatly in His commands. Her offspring will be mighty in the land. The generation of the upright will be blessed. Wealth and riches are in her house. Her righteousness endures forever. Light dawns in the darkness for the upright, gracious, merciful, and righteous. It is well with the woman who deals graciously and lends. She will maintain her cause in judgment, for she will never be shaken. The righteous will be remembered forever. She will not be afraid of evil news. Her heart is steadfast, trusting in Yahweh. Her heart is established. She will not be afraid in the end when she sees her adversaries. She has dispersed, she has given to the poor. Her righteousness endures forever. Her horn will be exalted with honor. The wicked will see it and be grieved. They shall gnash their teeth and melt away. The desire of the wicked will perish. Praise Yahweh. So, there is a whole lot more about me. I am positive of that. But this is the memories that comes to me at this point in time. And I may wait a few hours before posting this to really make sure that this is what I want to tell people. Mainly that I could not have gotten through these decades without Him. And while I am so disappointed still that He's changed my path, I have to believe that it is for a reason. I have to believe that His ideas are way better than mine. And so on we go. And I wish for everyone out there that's watching, I wish the same for you. Don't hold your hand in a fist. It's too hard. It gets tired. Just open up your hand and receive. And He'll show you the way. All right, bye everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.